Trying to explain India to someone who's never been there is pretty impossible. You know, the crushing poverty, the profound sanitation issues. These folks are just up against so much. Still, even in such a place as with anywhere, if you have a job, it changes absolutely everything. So having the opportunity to study, to study English or any technology of any kind will immeasurably improve your chances of getting a job. And in Kolkata, many times, truly, that will mean the difference between life and death.
Copy that to this desktop, no? That one or?
My name is Alison Saracena, and I run a project in Kolkata called Uddami. We started out as a computer school for poor students, and we've expanded into helping other organizations start a program like Uddami. We offer what we call a beginning computer course. They start out with typing in English, the Microsoft Office programs, basic HTML, Dreamweaver, a little bit of Dreamweaver. They come to class an hour a day, 5 days a week. The main course is free. We did have some morning classes that were very low fee, but I mean, in comparison to the computer schools here that you would have to pay tuition for, it's really nothing what we were charging. Mostly the students that we take are lower class as far as economically. We do actually have an economic ceiling, but that's not always the most important thing. We usually talk to prospective students and find out what their circumstances are. We took a student because his mother was the only one working in his family, and despite the fact they live in a middle-class area and they would be considered middle class, they're struggling. The immediate benefit is that they're definitely more eligible for a job, which is why we started the project to begin with. Success is a kind of interesting word because here there are a lot of obstacles to having a very high success rate. And for us, success is placing kids in jobs. I would say that at this point we probably have about 40–50% success rate. There are a lot of reasons why it's not more. Girls typically, when they finish the course, girls have to get married here. There's very little option for women, for young women. And when they get married, it's up to their families if they work or not. And so it's one of the reasons that we keep 51% women, but no more. Because it's different here also for the boys, because the young men that we teach, oftentimes they'll be supporting their families. They support their mothers and their sisters. So even if we train boys, they're still supporting women. There's 16 million people in this city. It's just unbelievably crowded. And there's more people coming all the time. And there's very little opportunity. And part of that has to do with the caste system. Most of the kids that I teach are lower caste, or economically they're in a really low position here. We talk about the glass ceiling in America for women. It's like a cement room here. My dream is to get these students into the mainstream because they are so far they're really outside of the mainstream here. It looks like things are progressing economically, but the problem is it's only progressing for about 10% of the population, not everybody. The other success here is that a lot of my students have really low self-esteem because of the caste system, because of where they come from. And one of the things that's really important to me in the school is to treat everyone equally and have everyone treat each other equally. And that's not something that happens frequently here. We have a completely different kind of teaching here. The schools they're all rote learning. It's all memorizing. They just turn people into robots and parrots here. And we really try to get our students to think, which is very difficult after they've been taught not to think for most of their lives. But I think that many of them, because of the way we are with them, they start to think that maybe they actually have a place in the society and maybe there is something more for them. And I think in many ways that's kind of the most important thing we do here.
When I was small, I used to stay in Park Street, you know. In the street I used to live, and I used to beg also. My mother, my whole family almost. We were happy when my father was there, but in 1994 my father died. I was studying regular school I was going, and suddenly my studies were stopped because of some problem. Then I was put to a tailoring shop, and I was asked to make garments and all, how to make that. I was in training. That I did very well, but I could not take the certificate because I really wanted to study very well. Means I love to study, and from beginning only, from my childhood, I had a dream to study. I really liked computer is something different out of studies and out of this cutting and cutting garments and all. So I really liked, and I think I did very well. That's why auntie kept me in Uddami, and from there my life is changing. A lot of change I got. There's two parts in Uddami: software services and Uddami school. In school I am a teacher, and in this services I am project manager.
She's supporting her mother and her brother and her sister and herself. I've watched her go from somebody that was very, very insecure and not sure of herself at all, and she's just blossomed into this amazingly confident young woman. And it's so hard for women here. Sorry, I'm going to get very emotional about this, but it's really, really difficult. Women are in every way kept down and excluded from things. And to watch Rabia and how she's changed, it's really moving to me.
I don't know what will happen, but my hope means, my dream is to do something very good which will value my education, value me. And I want to do something very good for my future, for my career.